Welcome everybody to Absolute Reports, and I'm your host Eladia Plays. Welcome back, guys. I'm joined by Robert again. This
Yo,
time, we're here to talk about Martian Manhunter. This is issue 2 and 3. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it.
yep, because we are a bit behind on this one, but we're going to get caught up. That's why we're dedicating a whole episode to this one.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, where we left off, it's definitely still the most interesting of the books. Can we agree to that?
yes, agreed.
Yep. But
It,
oh, you want to say something?
no, I was gonna say it's interesting to read this comic. It was
Yeah, it
very,
does get a little easier to understand as it goes on.
yeah,
That's probably a good thing to say, but yeah, we open up with all this weird imagery and all that. Ignore it. Spin the wheel. It's not real. I'd like to solve the puzzle. None of this is happening. It's all in your head. Basically, they're treating Martian Manhunter and John Jones as almost like it's two separate beings.
yeah, and it was like at first when I saw this, I was thinking, is it in it? Are they trying to make him like a imagination type of thing?
Yeah, but I think it's more of a case of his real memory.
Right.
Or trying to climb the way up to the surface.
Okay. That was interesting. But from panel to panel, though, I really thought it was interesting to see the dilemma he was in.
Yeah. And I do love
So
the whole notions of using smoke as representing of how the mind works.
yeah, for
The
sure.
Martian mind burper. I'm not going to say it.
No. I was also gonna mention is that I don't know. The only thing I was gonna mention is how this John Jones
Mm-hmm.
is kind of unique when it comes down to being a detective.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Let's be honest. For the longest time, the detective side of Martian Manhunter was always tacked on.
Mm-hmm.
With the exception of New Frontier, it was rarely utilized very well. It was
That I
just
can
it
agree.
was just a job.
That I can agree with.
Yeah, so
100.
this one was cases where they're actually utilizing it more like in the actual life of the man.
Hey, what's up, Jared?
Hey, Jared. But yeah, like the whole none of this makes sense because trying to talk to him, like understanding will result in mind self-destruction. Again, like he's saying, none of this makes sense. Leave me alone. Hey, be calm. Memory of honeymoon with Bridget. So it's using the memories of John, the human John, to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, like Martian, we've been to Mars. We have pictures. There's no aliens up there. So of course he's in denial.
So
Not
so going through this
yeah.
panel, I found it a little bit interesting to see, like, that color palette with the blues
Yep.
and the greens. Is that in his mind or what?
I think that's meant to represent his mind. Yes.
Okay. Because I wasn't when I read this, I wasn't too sure.
Yeah. Honk 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 honk. Uh-oh. Yep. Oh boy. And then
The
takes on the form of the baby. Get away from my baby.
the parking ticket, Mika.
Yep. Again, it's like now that he's aware, it's trying to explain things but not give him all the answers.
It's 1 second. It's also really cool to see that it's the Martian inside of him. He's taking different
Yeah.
forms.
Yep. Well, it's trying to speak to him everywhere he's walking.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep. And of course, it's like, but he's trying to warn him. Apparently, Martian Manhunter is aware of the Omega.
The Omega. Okay.
which is dark side, of course.
But what confused me is that I understand.
Oh, Madame Xanadu?
Yeah, that confused me that bit.
Really? Because I think, I don't know if this is meant to be the Madame Xanadu or not.
Like, bless you. What did you think? Like when you saw this, like first, and it was
I
like,
thought it was a nice Easter egg first, but since we don't actually, yeah, he looks inside and everything, but we never actually have I don't think we have him meet her yet.
no.
That's what I was thinking. But again, all throughout this, it's the thing trying to, the Martian side trying to reconcile.
Agreed.
And of course, we have someone trying to hunt him down, saying, invaders, aliens from outer space, body snatchers.
Who? I was wondering, do you think that's the FBI?
I think so. Or some paranoid guy.
Oh, okay.
But I do like as he's more and more embracing the Martian side, it becomes more like, his invisible buddy.
I think
If you notice that, like the more he embraces him, the more he's just like, hey, okay, let's go.
so. He's like the passenger of a car.
Exactly. Just like, let's ride, partner.
So,
but yeah, this guy is completely losing it, just gunning anyone he thinks is an alien. And he's trying to calm him down. Yeah, Trigger Taylor. He's someone he knows. It says Trigger Taylor.
Is it? What was this character ever?
Let me check. No, this is created for this.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
Yeah, no, this was a one created exclusively for this universe.
Okay. Because I didn't do the research on the character. I just thought it was.
I didn't. Trust me, I never heard of him. I've understood the Human Flame, but this guy completely original.
Yeah.
So is that really you and Thomas, or are you just pretending? So he's trying to calm him down. I'm trying to talk him down and everything. Tries to enter my idea. What was I need to think. Oh, but then he gets shot by a cop. And all of his thoughts just come pouring out. And someone seems to absorb them.
Yeah, it's
And then of course I try to say stuff like, you should have just shot him. You were just talking to him. It's like, no shit, he's supposed to calm the guy down.
And then I like the fact that the alien's in bed with the woman.
Yep, well, that's because he's now starting to embrace what he was. But we also find out about white Martians being here. And it was probably the white Martians that influenced him.
So that would be interesting.
Yep. Oh. So yeah, which leads us into the next issue.
Which is
issue 3.
Yeah.
And yeah, we open up with someone being lit on fire, a homeless person being lit on fire. That's terrifying.
I really thought it was interesting. The first thing you see was fire.
Yep.
This issue.
I know. Well, technically the first thing you see is a homeless person, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And it says, I want to go home. And this was a 14-year-old.
Like
a kid.
A kid doing this is just
No. That was set on fire.
Yeah. I mean, a kid set on fire was absolutely nuts.
Even though he lived on the street since never mind. Since he was 14. He's not 14, he's been living since he was 14.
Oh.
My mistake. I missed the since. I missed that part.
But
My mistake.
But considering he was a homeless person, it's still not a good sign.
It's not. It's not. But like I said, I do like that now that the Martian side of him, it's more there. Like I said, he's more like his invisible buddy. Like I said, this is what I'm saying is starting to make a bit more sense now. Would you agree with that? It's starting to make a little bit more sense.
It's slowly starting to make more sense to me. Not exactly on the point of it's making sense, but it's slowly getting there.
It is. Like by having him, like they're trying to figure out all this weird occurrences. Like I said, having him actually be there, just standing beside him, only he can hear him, and all that. I do like that then, because like I said, it's treating. And this is where you now get the separation. This is Martian Manhunter if him and John Jones were separate entities,
which I find cool.
Yeah, like I said, that's where we're finally getting the diversion from.
And then
I remember when we did the first issue, we had no idea what the diversion was. It was like, but now we know.
Yeah, now we know the reason why there's a separate entity between.
Yeah.
The Martian.
And the human.
Yeah. So, I also am interested to see how this John Jones takes up his detective skills.
Oh, yeah. Well, so far he seems like he is a good detective, able to figure things out. Big Al didn't like shelter. There's people were always, and we're always flipping with him in there, making dark intimidation, stealing his shoes while he slept, conception, constellation, home, safety, shelter. He liked his chances better on the street. Big Al, he a friend of yours or something? Partner? I've never seen them before, I swear. So yeah, they're trying to meet up with all these other people while the Martian side is reading their minds. And he's just going along with it.
Yeah.
And this is so again, he's trying to find a balance. He's trying to,
but it's still
so hard. And this poor wife is so concerned for him.
Yeah. You feel sorry for the wife.
I know, especially, and obviously she can chalk it up as something changed in him since the accident.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to check on Tyler. Huh? Oh, he's in his room. And apparently the kid is it's just showing him playing with the kid when he's really not, of course. And, apparently, a whole bunch of fires were set, and they've all been controlled by the White Martians.
When I thought there was a whole flame, like when I saw this, I was thinking, how can they do that in a matter of minutes?
They all did it at once. They all basically self-immolated at once.
Okay, but it's kind of, don't you think is it one White Martian or is it a multitude?
No, it's one manipulating all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, which again I find interesting. Now again, this is still a weird, wacky story, but yeah, they've been causing fires everywhere. Just going around throwing Molotovs, burning the homeless, all of this.
Which is to say the least is nuts. When I saw this image of them fighting, I was like, whoa. Like,
how could you just leave? How could you just go? This is all of their thoughts, all of their pain from being homeless coming to haunt them.
Mm-hmm.
But John is trying to control, the Martian is trying to control some of it. I have a message for the green one. And it knows you're hiding. It knows you're looking. It watches you, welcomes you to watch. It loves an audience. Of course, they're like, Jones, where are you? And now they think for a moment, like, what's going on? So that's what they're trying to figure out. But this is where I think it feels like things were reworked to expand the story.
Agreed. I agree with you there that they expand on it a little bit, but also at the same time, it's still, you know, confusing.
It is to a point, but this is a book that needs multiple read-throughs.
Yeah, I think you can't just do it in one sitting or two sittings.
This is why I think it was originally supposed to be 6 issues, and why they only increased it to 12 and not an ongoing, because they know they can probably extend it to 12, but there's no way in hell you can keep this up for an ongoing.
No,
you'd have to completely redefine it.
I'll be honest with you, this is probably one of the weaker books that I've read.
It's the weaker ones, but only in the fact, I would say it's a brilliantly done book, but it's the weaker one in that it's the most hardest to understand and follow.
Yeah, hardest to understand. And
now the other ones aren't, at least the other ones have the difficulty of, and I'm sorry for interrupting. Yeah. The other ones have the difficulties of being slogs.
Big slugs.
You know, taking a while to get through, to get to the point of what the story is before it finally picked up.
No, I get it. I get you.
Whereas this one, it feels like a slog and trippy.
What I was gonna say as well is that it's taken them this. I don't know, when did Martian Manhunter start?
About a few months ago, same as Flash and Green Lantern.
So it's taken them at least 3 issues
before we finally got up to this point. And even then, we still don't know everything.
Apparently, Martian Manhunter issue 4 and 5 are coming out soon, though.
Well, yeah. At least they're coming out on time.
Yeah.
So I will give it that. I mean, the next issue comes out next week.
Yeah. I think, which I need to discuss with Robert about this, it is that maybe taking like.
I say we wait until issue 6 before, and even then judge it from there if it has a good stop point or not.
Just to do the arcs only, like I think that's the best option.
I know. I think obviously 6 is meant to be at least a midway point, and we judge it from there.
Yeah.
Like we do 6, we wait until issue 6, and then we wait until issue 12.
It's one of those things that I really think that needs to be waited on.
Yeah, same with, I think, Green Lantern and Flash. Those ones we really need to wait on a bit more. It's just, that's been the one problem with most of Absolute, to be fair. It's that they know they're set in for the long haul. But instead of just feeling like they can tell what stories they want to tell, they're saying, well, we could take our time telling it.
I really think they should because they're taking the time with the books. Like it's not because it's taking far too long, because it's not. I just think that because of the, what's the word I'm looking for? I
think it's because these books, here's what I think. I think because these books are self-contained so far, not part of a greater world, we don't know how they connect to each other. It makes their individual slower pacing feel a little bit more obvious.
Jared, by the way, says the Absolute Trinity books are paced pretty well.
Oh, they've gotten that point now, but when they started, they were also a slog, with the exception of Absolute Wonder Woman, I think, being the better paced.
I
would say, I mean, they did start off better paced by comparison, but they were still a little sluggish.
Yeah, I kind of felt it was like it took a little bit, but not as long as this.
No, not as long as this or Flash and Green Lantern, where it's just like, what?
At least with Green Lantern and Flash, there's a story that I can connect with.
Yeah, this one you have the slogness plus the trippiness, and you're still trying to figure things out. Which I get is kind of the point. It's supposed to be John Jones trying to get his reach a balance with this Martian side.
Yeah, and I really think. So I really think, I really also think if I was in the editorial team, I would say, look, guys, we got to make sure this is not confusing for the audience. That's what I would
true,
say.
But I think because they went into this making it a miniseries, they knew it was going to be a unique thing.
I don't think this is going to get 12 issues.
Oh, no, it already is, dude.
It is?
Dude, it already got upgraded to 12 issues because of how well the first issue did.
Oh, wow. Why did they do that?
Because the first issue was a bigger hit than they thought.
Right, okay.
That's why. But they still upgraded to a 12, not an ongoing.
Upgraded to 12, but not ongoing. Okay. So we could do...
Yeah.
We could do 6 by 6.
Yeah, so I say wait until issue 6 to come back to this, and then we will, and then and even then, that depends on if 6 is still treated as a midway point.
Yeah, agreed. Because, like we said, guys, because we don't feel that this comic,
it's not bad.
It's not bad. We just don't feel like we're connecting well with it.
No, not at the pace it's going.
We don't feel like I wanted to give this a chance, and I did give it a chance, and I was gonna drop the comic. I did tell Robert this, and Robert can attend for this. Like, didn't I say to you I wanted to drop the Absolute?
Yeah. And I think, and if you wish to do that, go right ahead. I'm gonna see it through.
I was like, because I said, look, I want to give it a chance at least. But it's still...
it's hard.
It's hard when you're giving something a chance. It's hard to understand the comic, and it's hard to understand the panel to panel situation, and then you get confused by it.
Oh yeah, and then, even I'm confused by it. Yeah.
So it kind of, there's more questions than answers. That's the way I felt with this issue 2 and 3. There was more questions than answers.
Yep. So like I said, I do feel we should wait until issue 6, and then we come back for issue 12.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, guys. So from now on, it'll be like 3. What are we? What we're on
issue 3. So 4, 5, 6. We'll come back at 6. So in about 3 months.
Yeah, in about 3 months, we'll come back and do.
2 months, because the next issue comes out next week. So in about 2 months.
Yeah, so 2 months, and we'll do Martian Manhunter again, and it'll be like a big blown stream for you guys to see. We'll see if this works out, because if it does, great, you guys have got context, but if it doesn't, then I don't know what to say.
I know. So let's wait and see up until issue 6, where the original was supposed to end it. And then afterwards, we then wait another 6 months until 12 and see how that goes.
Yeah.
Because, this has just been of the 3 second phase books, this is the weakest of them.
This has been the weakest of them, and I really don't feel that happy with it. I'm not happy with the book at all.
Yeah, like I said, it's just... Now, again, there's some stuff I enjoy about it. I enjoy just the wacky, mind-trippy concept of it. And again, the idea of John and John's being separated, separate entities. But the way the storytelling is going, whatever the story is, it's where the issue comes.
I got a question for Jared, if you're still in the chat. Jared, like, do you agree with me and Robert when it comes down to the way things are going with Martian Manhunter? Do you think that it's a book that can, redeem itself, or do you think that it's far beyond that?
I think it can redeem itself once we actually get. This is basically a book that's meant to be collected and then read by the end of it.
Right. Okay.
You get what I'm saying? This feels like a book that's meant to be bought, put on a shelf, wait until the book is done, and then you read it. Kind of like Ram V's Detective Comics run.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? It's like, or some of Tom King's books, where it's sometimes better just to, yeah, the writer is definitely writing for the trade. Yes.
So Jared says, "Oh yeah, for sure. I think it's taking a long time too, but yes, I think it's more of a book where the writer's writing for the trade." Okay.
Exactly. That means he's writing this to be collected. Or if you're buying individual issues, just put it on there and wait until a certain point before you then look back and read them all in one go.
I think for this comic though, these two comics, I have to give it a 5 out of 10.
I'd have to agree with that. Again, the concepts are interesting. It's the execution that's the problem.
It's the execution that's the problem, and then furthermore, it's like no offense to comic book readers, but we don't want to make it boring for you guys.
No, of course.
We don't want to make it boring for you guys. We're trying to.
This is a book that we need to go over in chunks, not just issue by issue.
Yeah, we can't just do. We can't like, even for the other books as well. I think we're gonna have to do the same thing for that.
Agreed. Because and so far they're still building up the momentum. Kind of funny in Flash's case, of course.
Yeah. So what we'll do, what we've got an idea for, guys, is that we're gonna do arc by arc, but we'll do it like a block of chunks. So, so for example, one stream will be dedicated to 3 of the books, right? So Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern. We'll focus on those 2, and then we'll focus on another book on a different stream, right? And then the Trinity book is going to be, it'll be a block like that. So
by the way, to respond to Jared, the whole "I don't write for the fans, I write for me." That's a quote from Stan Lee too, Jared. Stan Lee said the exact same thing. "Oh, I don't write for the fans, I write for me." That is what a lot of writers think about when they write. They don't write for the fans, they write for what they want to see written. And that goes more back at Stan Lee.
It doesn't make it right.
It's worked so far for a lot of creators, Stan Lee included.
So, yeah,
I'm pretty sure Perez was writing what he wanted to read.
Now, I got a question.
Right? Yeah?
Considering Absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are literally coming out weekly.
Yeah, well, not so much weekly, so much as they're all coming out on a frequent basis in conjunction with these books.
Yeah. I think blocking them up as well
would help.
Do you think would help?
Yep.
So, Jared, because you're in the chat, a monthly stream of us just doing the Trinity books, that would work as well. So, like, Absolute Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, and Flash would be like one separate entity, and then Trinity books will be a stream. So that gives us time, and then it gives you guys the audience. I know you guys watch this later, but it gives you guys the audience watching later on the context of the story chapter, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, we'll talk about this off stream, Jared. I'll send you a link afterwards, after the stream.
Agreed.
It's like I want to give you guys like a block of chains of things and not something that is, weekly. Because if I do this weekly for you guys, I kind of put
burnout.
It'll burn me out. So I'd rather not do that instead. But every 2 months or something, we can do that, and we can actually get something out of it, and it'll be useful for you guys. For you guys to be not only entertained with the idea of we're reading the panel to panel, but we can
Yep.
do voices. If you guys want me to do voices, we can do voices.
I
Right?
say go ahead.
We could do voices for that, and we could dissect it a little bit more, and that is something I wanted to do. Now, I know that we've got like 10, 15 minutes because I kind of wanted to do a shorter episode this week.
That's fine. That's fine.
Because
that's perfectly fine for me. I got some other stuff I got prep for soon too.
So it's I apologize last week that we didn't do it because family emergency.
Things happen. Yeah.
But anyway, Robert, I wanted to ask you something. I know you're a comics guy. I know. Is there any Martian Manhunter books that people can get into for a first-time reader?
Besides, I'm thinking.
Besides the Absolute books,
obviously.
Yeah.
There's the John Ostrander run. I don't know if that's been collected or not. That's considered one of the definitive runs. You have the Steve Orlando Riley Rossmo maxi series, which wasn't that bad of a story to tell. He's had a lot of appearances in the Justice League.
Okay. Jared says he doesn't get his own book that much.
Not as much, but when he has, they've been interesting at the very least.
But to get off on a starting point, though, Jared, that's what I'm trying to get at. People that have never heard of Martian Manhunter before, they can go, "Oh, where do I go?"
Let me see if that thing's been collected. Hold on.
Where can I go to start off on the character to learn about the character too? Because I think that's
the Martian Manhunter Son of Mars trade. Or you can get that on Kindle.
Okay.
That collects the first 9 issues of that run. Wait, why are they saying this is New 52? This was not a New 52 series.
Really, Grant Morrison JLA. That's what.
Oh yeah, that's also a good one. That's also a good one.
Okay. So guys, you've got some recommendations here from Robert and Jared in the chat.
Yep.
You guys have got recommendations of what you guys could pick up if you guys were interested into checking out or starting off your journey on a comic book comic book journey into learning about these characters.
Yep.
Because I firmly believe, right, if you want to get into the comic book world, you obviously want to start from a starting point. So Robert and Jared are the two guys I go to ask, where can I start off? Because Robert and Jared know their craftsmanships when it comes down to the characters. Because look at Robert's bookshelf, for crying out loud.
Yep. I mean, I got a handful of Martian Manhunter related books. Actually, I think I only got one, but still. Robert's
a walking in DC and Marvel and Dark Horse and whatever.
Others.
Among many others, encyclopedia.
Yep.
So it's, you guys have got at least someone you can go to and you can actually ask him questions.
Yep.
So we'll say that much. Now, before we wrap up, because it's coming up to the 40-minute mark.
While you're doing, I'm going to quickly grab that one book. Hold on.
Okay, so while Robert goes to get that book, I just wanted to mention this as well, guys. It's so going forward now, it won't be every month type of thing. It'll be depending on how long the issue comes out, then we'll cover that. Ooh,
this was during the right around Countdown era. Countdown to Final Crisis era, where they try to make him more Martian-like. Didn't tank, thankfully, but
is it still a good? It still looks like a good artwork.
Yeah, it's pretty decent artwork by Al and Barivon Nevo. No idea what they've been doing lately, but it's interesting artwork still.
Okay, that's something I might have to see if I can get from the library, if
Mm-hmm.
it's at the library, and I can pick that up.
Right. Yeah.
But but yeah, so yeah, pretty much. At least, guys, if you want someone to go to for comics and to understand the comic, Robert's your guy for
Mm-hmm.
understanding these characters and getting pretty much an encyclopedia on it. He's the guy to go to. And Jared is another guy you can also go to as well from Comics League.
Right.
So, but Robert is very well open when it comes down to all universes from Post Crisis, New 52, Rebirth,
Mm-hmm.
Dawn of DC. He has everything. So there's everything you can think of. Robert knows.
Thank you.
Um, no, dude, I'm just, I'm just trying to say that
No, I mean it. I mean it. Thank you. I think. Thank you.
it's no problem, man. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm trying to get you more people to kind of
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
to kind of come and check your content out. But
Do it. Go
Robert,
right ahead. Go right ahead.
so Robert, where can they find you on your YouTube page?
Link is down in the description. I have a bunch of Pro Teachers news. I got a bunch in the can so far. I'm already counting down to 575 coming up soon. Which those ones are not big. Those are not. I don't do any streams for those. Those ones are just ones where I just do favorite stories and whatnot.
Yeah. So I have left a link in the description to
Mm-hmm.
Robert's YouTube page.
Mm-hmm.
And also on top of that, guys, please go subscribe to his page. Please go check out his content.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing work. If you're into the comic book stuff side of it, then check out his comic book content. If you want to check out some of his gaming stuff, please
Mm-hmm.
go check out.
I'll get back to that. I will get back to that.
I know, but if people want to check out, like for example, Indiana Jones or
oh yeah, I gotta get back to that one.
Or even your Doom, the Doom Dark
Ages. Yep.
They can check a look at your content on that because I know Robert has done content on that, guys, and Robert is a gamer like myself. So
I just sometimes get easily distracted playing the games on my own.
So if you guys do want to check out that type of content as well, please go subscribe to him, and you won't be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed with the stuff that he does. I wish there was more people to check out his work though, guys, because he puts a lot of time and effort to doing his, pro teaching noobs, guys. He takes a lot of time and effort to kind of set these up. So if you want to be taught by Robert, hit him up in the DMs, and he will officially teach you about comics. That's the best way I could say.
Yep. Thank you so much.
So as for me, guys, you guys can check me out. Hold on, let me where is it? You guys can check me out at @TLAudiaPlays_, which is on X. As for the content that I'm going to be doing, now I'm going to be making a video tonight, and I'll be discussing about the WB games restructure and what does this mean for the franchises that they've got, including the DC brand, the fighting game genre, and all that stuff. And then also I'll be discussing about the rumor of the Sony buying WB Games entity, especially the gaming division. Where does that leave if they pick up WB Games? Where does that leave Rocksteady and NetherRealm, and what type of video games does that leave them? So I'll make it like 2 separate videos, but you guys will get content about that. So I'll probably get that video out by the end of the week. I've just got loads of things got to get done before then. But before that, I hope you have enjoyed this mini episode of Absolute Reports. I know it's not a long one, but hey guys, we covered 2 and 3, but we will get back to Absolute Martian Manhunter in about 2 months.
Eventually.
Eventually, but
Yep.
right now we're just like going in block of change. So just a reminder
Yep.
for that. So
Makes
until
sense.
then, yeah, it makes sense. So until then, guys, hope you have enjoyed tonight's stream. Make sure you leave a like, comment down below your thoughts and opinions on Absolute Martian Manhunter. Whether you like the series, whether you dislike the series, what do you think can be improved on the series, or even on improvement on my side? What do you think I can improve on? I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below about that. And also, guys, what you guys would like to see me cover in terms of gaming, because I have got some gaming coverages coming up, including 007 First Light. I will be covering that extensively because
Yep.
I did not know this, Robert, but there was a comic run for 007.
Oh yeah, plenty of those. Plenty of those. I'm still trying to get one Bond YouTuber on my channel to cover them.
I had no idea that Bond had comic run.
Oh yeah,
So
dynamite.
so it was like I have to cover it. If it has a comic, Bond is a comic book character. So it's like, go for it. So that's what I'm going to be doing for 007 First Light. I'll be covering that extensively, and then Marvel Rivals, I'll be coming back to that when the new character drops. So so until then, like I said before, like, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell when a video or a live stream that I do, you will be notified. So until then, have a wonderful morning, wonderful afternoon, wonderful evening, wherever you're in the world, and we will see you next time. Stay safe out there. And Robert, you want to say last word?
Nope. Thank you. See you guys on the next one.
All right,
Take
bye.
care.
Bye.
Hmm.